We've all seen this. This disgusting, peeling, bubbling window film on the back glass defroster lines. The problem is, it's completely preventable. And the only thing causing this to happen is laziness and not taking pride in the work that you produce. I'm gonna show you the simple tasks that need to be done in order to prevent that type of poor install to be done on your glass. These are the types of things you need to be asking the tint shop you choose to use. See if they're doing it. If they get upset that you're asking, maybe they have something to hide. I'm gonna take you step for step on how this should be done and what it comes down to when someone creates that poor of an install. It comes down to not prepping this glass properly. Most shops will do just the normal thing you do to the rest of this glass. Now this stuff, you don't necessarily need to go this far down the rabbit hole with. You can if you want to, but you don't really need to. The rear glass, because of these defroster lines, you need to. The sad thing is, it doesn't even take that much more effort or that many more steps to make sure the defroster lines are cleaned properly to ensure that you don't get the failure down the road with the peanuts on the defroster's line in the first place. Your typical or standard cleaning is going to be cleaning solution, scrubby, squeegee. You will also want to do a pass with good old Mr. Razor, because there's oftentimes, whether it's on a used car or new glass, that there's these little bitty things somewhere. And trust me, if there's the tiniest bit of contamination in between the glass and the film, it does not matter how freaking small, you're gonna see it. It's gonna create, especially if it's blacker film, darker film, you're gonna see it from freaking 10, 20 feet away. It just blasts at you. The filament exacerbates it and makes it easier to see. However, those are all great processes for all the other glass. You still do that for this glass, but after you do that, you spray, scrub, squeegee, you spray again, and you clay bar. If you don't know what clay bar is, it's essentially like silly putty, but there's grades to clay bar, and grades in the form of their grittiness or their abrasiveness. Much like sandpaper, there's different grits of sandpaper. There are different grits of clay bar. Now these are only two examples of it, and not all of them are color coordinated the same. You need to read the packaging. These are just the ones that we use. This one is going to be mild, the least abrasive. This one's going to be mild, the medium, and then we have a red one, which is heavy. I personally don't recommend using heavy on glass, simply because, or not necessarily glass, on these defroster lines, because it could actually take them off if it's too aggressive and you push too hard. I personally recommend just using the mild, and if it's a very, very thick adhesive line or very, very thick lines back here, defroster lines, like BMW likes to do, I may use this if I need to sort of knock it down a little bit, because even very thick lines back here and even dot matrix, that can create an air gap. So I like to knock them down with a little bit more aggressive of a clay bar. Now, when it comes to doing this, it's the step I do after the previous steps I just told you. I will wash it, scrub it, squeegee it, then I will go back in with the clay bar, scrub it down. That's what I'm about to do. You'll see the whole process. And then after I've cleaned it the industry standard way, we're gonna go back and do this. Now, I'm not saying there are no shops that do this. It just, from what I've sort of figured out from talking to other people, it's not the standard. And for rear defroster lines, it should be. So this may be something you want to talk to your window tint shop about and ask them if they're clay barring the rear glass. Another thing I'll tell you, come on, wait, is there no button back here to open this door? There's gotta be a button, there it is. I don't know if you can see it in frame, but I have got, oh, I need a rag too. I have got this thing right here. I've had people laugh at me for having that. But they don't laugh once they see how comfortable I am doing this. Because that might be a reason why a lot of shops aren't doing it, because you want a good ab workout, sit back here like this, trying to do this thing and just supporting yourself with your own abs. Yeah, especially in the summer, that can be a freaking workout. Let me see. This comes out easy enough. I personally like to take this back deck lid out, just because it's in the way. And if these pop out easy enough, I don't have to unscrew anything. I'll just pop this out. Get this out of here. No, this one's not going to come out too easily, so we'll put it back. It does push down pretty nicely, so we shouldn't have too much of an issue. Either way, back to what I was talking about. This little triangle here, instead of blasting my abs, making this shit super uncomfortable and killing me, just do this. Now I'm sitting nice and comfortable, and we're good to go. Push it back a little bit more. All right, let's get this all nice and juiced up. And scrub her up. Hey, little spider. Watch out, little spider. Where'd you go? What, dude, I'm trying to help you here. Yeah, there you go. Just because they're small don't mean you gotta kill them. Just trying to live his best life too. All right, so that's about it. That is your industry standard cleaning of the glass. Probably gonna need my bulldog. Yep. Need the bulldog. Grayson, where's the bulldog? Yeah, it's probably not gonna get hot enough to be able to remove that.
I literally lifted the fender and then off of his stack and I pulled it and it left a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, well, it's stuck. Super grabby. Bulldog acquired. Get the rest of this cleaned off. All right, so that's where a lot of shops will call it quits and say it's clean, it's prepped, it's ready to go. No, not the case. So as we can see here, we've got nice, clean, beautiful clay bar, no contamination, nothing. Now let's clay bar the glass. Let's see what we come up with. Now I'm not pushing very hard, really just enough pressure to keep the clay bar from falling off of my hand like that. Oh, look at that. Look at all that nastiness. And that is just from lightly rubbing it over what is already clean. We've got that. I've done maybe a 1 foot by 1 foot area of this entire glass. We'll go ahead and finish getting this glass done and cleaned up. Do you need to clay bar all of this until it comes perfectly clean? Until the clay bar itself has absolutely no dirt coming off of it? No, you probably will never get that because you are doing it to an actual like metallic surface once you are the actual defroster lines. But doing it once, maybe twice, depending on how dirty they are. Now granted, these were very dirty. Then doing it and removing that topical layer of this contamination does give the film the best opportunity possible to bond properly so you don't get all those nasty peanuts. And now I can install the film. This has the best possibility and opportunity to not fail as humanly possible. And then there's also certain techniques you would want to use when installing the film as well, especially on this glass when it comes to squeegeeing it down. When you're doing your final squeegee, you want to go the direction of the defroster lines, because as you can hear, you hear that? You can hear the thunk, 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 thunk. If you go like this, you can trap water in there. You can get your maximum water out going with the squeegee lines, with the defroster lines. The more you know, the better decision you can make when choosing a window tint shop to give you long-lasting window film. Now, there's a whole another story that can be asked or told about the quality of window film itself. I'll leave that up to you to do your own homework on what film you think is best. There's plenty of reasons why shops choose the films they do, whether it's just allegiance to a certain brand or actual quality control or anything like that. We use Steck film for our window tint. The reason why is they've been in the game since 1977. They have a long history with film development, and there's only maybe 4 window films that I've used, and I've used all of the top brands. All the ones you can think of, I've used. Steck has the truest to black filament that I can find. A lot of films out there will have a purple, sort of bluish hue to it. That's cool if you want a purple and blue window tint. If you want black, like true black window film, Steck is the best way to go. Other reasons why is pretty much all of the other manufacturers I've used during the install process, the filament itself is even more delicate than normal, and it scratches during the install. The Steck film, I've tried to scratch it. It won't scratch. I don't know what I need to do to scratch it, but whatever it would take to scratch it isn't something you'd want to be doing as part of a normal install for window film. Anyways, so do your own research. If it's up to me, use a company that uses Steck, and you can't go wrong with quality. That's it. Another video coming soon.
Trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center.